Look at her, she's spittin' nerdy. Look at her, she's spittin' nerdy. Can't you see she's spittin' nerdy? Look at her, she's spittin' nerdy.
Good morning, everyone. I know I literally just uploaded to my channel the other day, but it's actually been about a week and a half since I have vlogged, so I have a lot to fill you in on because this last week and a half has kind of been an insane roller coaster as far as the bulking process goes. So I really want to talk you through everything that's gone through my head and how my relationship with food has majorly been called into question and everything that I've been going through with that. I also figured I should probably do a little body update at the start of this process, before things change too much, so that we can actually evaluate whether or not I was able to change my body at the end of this. It's a little bit late now to get actual before pictures, but I don't know, I've only been doing this for 2 weeks, so it's not like I've had any massive changes yet, theoretically. But first, it's gym time. I actually recently discovered a new gym that I am very excited about. So I'm gonna go check that gym out right now and see how it is, see if I wanna maybe potentially get a membership. Maybe it'll suck and I can just stop thinking about it. Either way, gonna get a workout in. Today is a bigger upper body day, so I do want a little bit of something just to give me some energy, give me some extra oomph in my workout. I know I tell you guys that I only have caffeinated beverages twice a week. That is true. Somehow I always end up filming when I'm having them. I don't have coffee every single day, but today I'm gonna have the Sigmatic mushroom focus shot. After my ultimate pre-workout latte, this is probably my second favorite pre-workout. It has lion's mane in it, and this technically is not designed to be a pre-workout, but lion's mane is really good at boosting your brain function. And when I take this, I feel so much more focused and in the zone in the gym that I'm able to just smash out a really great workout. It does have a little bit of caffeine. It has 40 milligrams of caffeine, which is not very much, so it's not like it's the caffeine that's driving my workout. It's really the focus and intense energy that I get from the lion's mane. And then I think it also has, it has rhodiola in it, which is another really good adaptogen that helps stimulate your body, give you a little bit of energy, little boost of endurance. So this is one of my, if we're talking about favorite pre-workouts and we're not doing the adaptogenic latte, this is pretty much my next go-to. So if you're looking for a quick and easy all-natural pre-workout that isn't going to be full of a bunch of gross additives and stuff, I highly recommend this, especially if you're someone who trains at night and wants just a little bit of a kick of energy without having a pre-workout that's 200 milligrams of caffeine that's going to keep you from sleeping at night. This theoretically should not stimulate you so much that you can't sleep 2 hours later. So my opinion, one of the best pre-workouts on the market, even though it's not marketed as a pre-workout. And it tastes like pineapple. It's great. If you want to give this a shot, no pun intended. Okay, just kidding. Pun very much intended. I do have a discount code for all 4 Sigmatic products. It's Fit and Nerdy for 15% off, so you can click that little link down in the description to check out the Focus Shot and any other 4 Sigmatic product of your choosing.
There are many workouts in this audiobook I'd recommend. My 12-week triathlon plan is not one of them.
The gym was amazing. It exceeded my expectations, and I really feel like it could feel a lot more like home, like my gym at school used to. So I don't know, I might do it. We'll see. But for now, I really want to eat because I am very hungry. It's already getting late. This always happens to me. But I figured I should do my little beginning of bulk body update before I start eating stuff. So in order to do that, I gotta change real quick. So don't look.
I got my lows, I got my highs, moving on close to my goal. Time is now, place is here to rest, filling the holes of my soul. I see, I like, I go, I get, no one can hold
It's 4:30 and I'm finally sitting down for breakfast. I have my little post-workout latte with some almond milk, creatine, collagen. My adaptogen of choice today was turkey tail with a little bit of cacao powder and maple syrup just to make it a nice hot chocolate. And then for actual food, I have 3 eggs with a ton of yellow squash, some onion, and half of an avocado. Oh, and I put nutritional yeast in the eggs. But I did quickly want to talk to you guys about the roller coaster of my mindset that I've been on these last 2 weeks. And right now I think I'm in a much better place than I was like a week ago, but I think it's really important to talk about, because the one big concern that everyone keeps bringing up whenever I talk about this, when people express their interest in it, is the fear of weight gain. And I do have to admit that while I was planning out this process ahead of time, I was genuinely really excited about it. I was looking forward to building muscle, building strength, changing the shape of my body, seeing what I could do. But when it came time to actually start this, I became a little bit hesitant and a little bit fearful, because I was like, what if this doesn't work? Like, what if all my extra calories just turn into fat and I just gain a ton of fat, and then I'm just 10 pounds of fat heavier than when I started, and I haven't accomplished anything, and I just have to cut, and everything's gonna suck, and it's not gonna be fun. And so that's kind of what was going through my head. And I tried to not let that get to me, because I went into this process knowing that weight gain is pretty much inevitable, especially coming from where I'm starting. I have a pretty average metabolism, and I'm literally just adding on a small number of calories to build muscle. So like, if I'm doing everything correctly, I should gain weight, because I should be theoretically gaining muscle. And knowing that and understanding that and reminding myself of that was kind of enough to assuage the initial fear that I experienced around potentially just gaining a ton of weight while I do this process. So week 1, I went into this attempting to eat my maintenance calories, 1,975. I think I averaged about 1,950, so pretty close. And that was going pretty well. I was feeling really strong in the gym, but it was kind of hard for me to digest all of the food. So I constantly looked a little bit bloated and felt bloated and felt more like dense, if that makes sense. Not in a muscle way, but more in a like, I'm full of food and I'm constantly full of food way. And so that wasn't the best feeling, but I knew that, you know, I was pushing my body to eat more. That's kind of to be expected, and I shouldn't really worry about it. But then going into week 2, I told you guys in my last video that I was struggling to eat a lot, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to increase my calories. But week 2, I actually ended up averaging about 2,050 calories, which is a little bit over what I should have been aiming for if I was increasing by 50 every week. And the beginning of week 2, just everything kind of went downhill. There ended up being a combination of quite a few different factors that caused my weight to skyrocket. It caused my physique to change kind of drastically within a few days in not so great of a way, which ultimately caused me to start freaking out a little bit. So essentially what happened is, a few days before that, I decided to up my carbs and decrease my fat, because I tend to eat a higher fat diet because it keeps me satiated, but it was actually making it really difficult for me to eat as much as I needed to eat. And I know that when I eat carbs, I can just keep eating more and more and more carbs. It's a lot easier for me to eat carbs. So I increased my carbs a lot, decreased my fat. So all of a sudden, I was eating probably close to like 75 to 100 more grams of carbs than I was used to. And what happens is, the more carbs you eat, the more water your body stores, especially when you initially kick up your carbs. So my body was just like holding on to so much water, and so it made me just look a lot puffier and bloated because I was retaining a ton of water, which is totally fine. Like, it's not fat gain, it's not in any way unhealthy. It just majorly changed my physique and my weight. On top of that, I also started my period a few days before that, and so I was bloated from that, and I was retaining water, and I was generally just like, you know, I mean, when you get your period, like, your physique changes, and it's not as nice as when you're not on your period. And so that happened too. And then guys, one night I was like 200 calories short of my goal, and I've had these donuts in my freezer for like the last year because I never eat them. So I was like, you know what? I don't really have any other food. I need more carbs. We're gonna have a donut. So I had a donut. And you know how it goes. Once you have like a little bit of junk food, a little bit of sugary treat, you want more. So I ate the rest of the package. I ended up eating 3 like donuts. Don't get me wrong, I don't feel guilty about the donuts at all. Like, I enjoyed every bite. My only regret is that I didn't like put in more effort to get better donuts, because these were like freezer donuts. Like, if I'm gonna have a donut, it should be a good donut. This was like an okay donut. And so I wasn't concerned about the actual donut consumption at all, other than the fact that, you know, it's really not ideal for your health to have like, I don't know, 50 grams of sugar in one sitting, which is what I did, but like, whatever, it happened, it was fine. My concern was what drove me to do that, because I haven't done anything like that in a long time. Usually if I want a sweet treat or a dessert, I'll make an adaptogenic latte, or I'll have a couple squares of dark chocolate and I'll be good. And that completely satisfies me. I don't feel restricted at all doing that. It makes me happy and I love it. But that night, I ate 3 donuts. And so instead of just ignoring it, I decided to sit down and make myself think about it. And I actually ended up writing an entire Instagram caption about it because writing really helps me sort through my thoughts. Again, I didn't feel guilty about it. I didn't want to punish myself for it, but it was an abnormal behavior for me. And I wanted to figure out what caused it so that I didn't end up spiraling out of control, because I knew I was already out of my element with this whole bulking thing and my weight was already increasing. I was starting to feel kind of a little bit flubbery, and I didn't know where I was with my mindset, and so I did a little check-in with myself. And upon this reflection, what I realized is that there had just been kind of a perfect storm of different things going on that drove me to eat these donuts. I was on my period, no sense of self-control, extra cravings. Usually if it's just that, I'm fine, but because I was also bulking and I was low on calories, I knew I needed to eat more calories. So that was the reason for the first donut, and then the second 2, I kind of justified it in my head, saying that it would be extra fuel for my workout, I would be able to hit a deadlift PR the next day, and so I justified the food using my bulk that I'm on. And my main takeaway from that experience and my reflection was that I don't want to use this lean bulk as an excuse to eat a bunch of junk food. I saw and experienced how easy it was for me to let my bulking mindset get in the way of my healthy mindset. And so I decided moving forward that I wanted to make sure that my healthy mindset was the priority. I'm literally in the process of building my body, and I want to give it building blocks that are the most structurally sound and the most concrete, and the ones that are going to do my body the most good when my body is built out of it. I don't want to build my body on junk food. I really do want to stick to making this a clean bulk rather than just letting myself eat a bunch of junk food to hit my calorie goals. So that was my experience and reflection on the donut incident, and one of the bigger like dips in the roller coaster that I experienced the last 2 weeks. But I was still at a point where I was weighing a lot more than I should, given how I increased my calories, and my physique was still looking like I had gained about 10 pounds of fat. And in the back of my head, I knew that it wasn't inherently a bad thing and that I shouldn't be worried about it because of all the factors that I talked to you about. I was on my period, I was eating more carbs, I was generally just eating more and having a hard time digesting, and so I should have expected my physique to change like that and my weight to change like that. But still seeing it was a little bit scary. And so I had all these thoughts going through my head, like maybe I need to stop, maybe I should take 2 weeks and do a cut instead, maybe I should wait until I get to a low enough body fat percentage, maybe I should just quit and give up because my body's responding really poorly to reverse dieting and it's not gonna work for me and there's no point in trying. All that kind of stuff was going through my head, and this has been a very new experience for me. Because as I've said, I have never actively tried to gain weight. I've never actively tried to increase my calories. I've always just either been at maintenance or been eating intuitively. So I have been at points where I have been eating in a surplus because I was eating intuitively. And I have gone through periods where I have gained weight, but it has never been intentional. And making that choice to eat more to gain weight is just, it's new. And I'm telling you all this because going into this process, I was pretty darn sure that I had a solid relationship with my body, with my food, with my health, etc. And going through this the last 2 weeks, it's only been like 2 weeks, but going through this has made me realize that I've done the work on one end of the equation, but I haven't even experienced the other end of the equation. And so working through this process is going to, I think, drastically help me improve my relationship with food, because I'm going to have to learn how to come to terms with all these things. I'm going to be experiencing new things, and I'm going to have to figure out how to stay in a positive mindset about it. Like, I already know that if I go into a cut, I can do it without feeling particularly restricted. I can do it without it ending up making me binge on things, and I know that if I start to get in a competitive mindset with myself, that like I need to eat less and less and less, I can catch myself right away and turn that around and make sure I don't end up going down that hole of restriction. But this process is the entire opposite, and it's making me realize that I have not put in the work on this side yet to say that I have a solid relationship with food on this side of the equation. I'm gonna need to make sure that when I'm trying to eat in a surplus, I'm not using it as an excuse to eat junk food. That if I do see a little bit of fat gain, I don't immediately jump to the idea that I need to go on a cut or restrict myself because I'm gaining fat. And I just wanted to share this with you guys because I wanted to be really open with you. I didn't want to pretend like this was super easy for me, because I know that a lot of you have the same concerns and that a lot of you might have the same experiences going through this. So I just want to share with you how I'm I'm getting through all of these roadblocks that I'm experiencing and how I'm adjusting my mindset to overcome any little thing that's trying to disrupt me from this process. And I am so glad that I didn't let any of those thoughts that were swirling around in my head get to me, because guess what? Within like a few days, my weight dropped right back to just above where it was when I started this process. So all of the weight gain that I experienced was not fat gain. My physique leaned out. I look a lot less puffy now. As you can see from my body update, like I still kind of have abs. I feel like all that was a little bit rambly. Hopefully it all made sense and gave you guys a little bit of insight into what my mindset has been like these last 2 weeks. But in the meantime, I think it is time for me to go for a walk before the sun sets, and so that I can digest my breakfast. Wow, I ate a lot later than I should have. The moral of the story of my very long ramble is that if you want to do a reverse diet but you're scared of gaining fat, I highly recommend you educate yourself on and understand the different mechanisms and what can happen to your body when you're going through it and why. So if you're eating more carbs, you're a lot likely to store more water, which will increase your weight, but it won't actually be fat gain. If you're eating a lot more and your body isn't used to it, you might be having a hard time digesting, which can also cause your weight to go up without increasing your fat. And understanding all that can really help keep you in a mindset where if you do start to experience any sudden changes in weight or your physique that make you uncomfortable, you won't immediately jump to the, oh my god, I'm getting so fat and I'm freaking out and I need to do a cut instead and this isn't working and I'm gonna abandon ship. Instead, you can realize that it's part of the process and you can look at it much more rationally and be able to work through it. Hi guys. I'm surrounded by cats. This week I'm trying to eat 2,100 calories. So for my post-walk lunch, I made some sweet potato chips with a little bit of spicy cashew cheese from the farmer's market, and then some leftover lamb that I put in the oven the other night. This is from my meat box, so it's something that you get if you get the February meat box. It's now 11:30 p.m. and not gonna lie, I am not hungry right now. I really need to stop eating my first meal at like 4 p.m. That's my biggest problem. For now, this is what we're working with. So I just made a giant pile of white rice with about 5 ounces of salmon, some roasted carrots, and delicatesse squash. So I'm a member of the Clean Plate Club. That happened in about 10 minutes. And that's what I like to call fuel for a deadlift PR tomorrow, not 3 donuts. But I do still have like 100 calories that I need to eat, so I'm gonna have a little bit of my farmer's market chocolate. I finish off almost every single day with a little bit of chocolate. It makes me happy and it tastes good. What more could you want? So I think I'm gonna make a little bit of peppermint tea to go with that, just because I want something nice and warm because I'm a little bit cold. It's gonna be great. For everyone who messages me saying, Marissa, I really want to get fit but I can't because I love chocolate too much. This is how I end almost every single day. It's not the chocolate that's standing in your way, it's your excuses. Eat the chocolate, go get fit. You can do both. And with that little nugget of wisdom, I think I'm gonna leave the video right here and just enjoy some YouTube videos. I don't know, I finished the Great British Baking Show. I finished the Great British Baking Show, the beginnings. I finished the Great British Holiday Baking Show. I literally have no more baking show to watch, and now I don't really know what to do with myself. So if you have any show recommendations for me, please leave them down in the comments below, because I was doing so good with my New Year's resolution to like take a couple hours a day just to myself, just to like calm down and not be working. But now that I don't have a show to watch, I go back to working all the time. So I need something else to occupy myself. Any suggestions are appreciated. You will be saving me from my workaholic tendencies. But in the meantime, please do give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, because it really does support me and my channel and I really do appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends and your family and your fitness buddies. Hit the subscribe button so that you see my future videos and the notification button so you actually get notified about those videos. And I will see you very, very soon. Bye.